Greetings to all our valued clients. Welcome to GKFXPrime Analysis and Education YouTube channel. This is Alan Hong, market analyst of GKFXPrime. I'm gonna share my daily analysis for Thursday, 27th of July in this video. So first of all, let's review the major market movement. So the first instruments we're referring to the dollar index in 4-hourly chart. So the US dollar was found lower in Asia on Thursday, down 0.67% to 93.29 as the Federal Reserve held steady and pointed to cautious move on interest rates and policies. So overnight, the Federal Reserve voted Wednesday not to raise its key interest rates and say it expected to begin normalizing its 4.5 trillion balance sheet relatively soon. So the Commerce Department said on Wednesday as well, the new home sales rose 0.8% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 610,000 units last month, and the May sales pace was revised down to 605,000 units from the previously reported 610,000 units. So the monetary policy, however, is remain front and center. In a move largely expected in financial markets, the Policy-Making Very Open Market Committee, the FOMC, agreed to keep its benchmark rate target at 1% to 1.25%, and the accompanying statement revealed concerns among policymakers about recent slowdown in inflation, which remain well below the central market target of 2%. And the inflation data has undershot market expectations for 4 straight months, showing little signs of improvement, but policymakers remain optimistic that the pace of inflation will stabilize over long term. So the Federal Reserve statement also noted that the interest rates are likely to remain low for some time, and highlighting that increase in its benchmark rates will depend on incoming economic data. So the financial markets moved lower after the rate decisions, with the dollar and treasury yields touching the session lows, while gold turned positive as the market participants judged the Federal Reserve statement as dovish. Meanwhile, the pound was rose to 1.3044, up 0.13% after the provisional economic growth data measured by gross domestic product (GDP), which met economists' forecasts. According to the Office of National Statistics, UK GDP is estimated to have increased by 0.3% in the second quarter, an improvement from the first quarter. While the Canadian dollar, it was traded roughly flat at 1.2508 and weighed by an uptake in the loonie after oil price continued to aid gains on Wednesday amid a bigger than expected drop in the US crude inventories. Having a tight in commodities market, the gold price was post-gain in Asia on Friday, up 1.08% to $1,262.94 a troy ounce, as the Federal Reserve held as expected and signaled that future interest rate hikes depend on key economic data from inflation and wage growth. As for the oil price, it was dipped lower on Thursday, with the US West Texas Intermediate price were down 14 cents or 0.3% to traded around $48.61 a barrel after 3 days of gains, but was sitting just below 8-week highs on hopes that a steeper than expected decline in US crude oil inventories will reduce the global wood supply. So according to the Energy Information Administration said on Wednesday, the US crude stock fell sharply last week as refineries increased output and imports declined, while the gasoline stock decreased and the distillates inventories fell. So the 7.2 million barrel decline in crude oil inventories in the week ending July 21 was well above the 2.6 million barrel forecast. So optimism that the long oversupply market is moving toward balance was also supported by news earlier in the week that Saudi Arabia planned to limit its crude exports to 6.6 million barrels per day in August. About 1 million barrels per day is below its export level a year earlier. So the fellow members of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, the OPEC, Kuwait and UAE have also promised export cuts. But analysts say oil price may have little headroom as the recent gains could encourage more productions, and particularly from US shale producers. So now we're gonna review the highlighted economic data And yesterday, New Zealand was released its latest trade balance for June, and it was at 242 million, which is better than expectations. So this data was lend some support to the New Zealand dollar on yesterday. And as well as the Australia was released its latest inflations for the second quarter, and it was slightly below the expectations, so including the GDP from the United Kingdom for second quarter, and it was met the expectation as I mentioned just now during the fundamental part. And as for the United States part, it was released the new home sales for June, and it was at 610,000, which is slightly lower than forecast as well. So the crude oil inventories will show a result of decrease more than expectations. So it was lend some support to the oil price as well. So the FOMC statement and the Federal Reserve interest rate decisions will remain the same at 1.25%. Okay, so as for today, we can focus on the both data from the United States, okay, which is core durable goods order for June, and as well as the weekly data, the initial jobless claims. Alright. So now let's take a look for the technical analysis, and the first instruments we are referring to the GBP USD in daily chart. So the GBP USD currently is traded as an uptrend, and the trend was gaining strength. So closure above 1.31600 is signal for buy, and the target we can refer to 1.33400. Okay, 1.33400. Referring to the MACD as well, the both movement line is pointing upward now, and the momentum is stood above the level of 0, okay, which is supporting for the upward momentum. Okay, so the next target will be at 1.33400. As for the euro, the price of euro USD was close out of the previous trading range, okay, the highest level of previous trading range, and currently hovering below the resistance level of 1.1760. Right, so it is currently considered as an uptrend, and so suggested that the closure above 1.17800 is signal for buy positions, and the target we can aim at 1.20000. As for the Aussie, it was traded as an uptrend as well, following the weakness of the US dollar recently. So a closure above 0.80700 is a signal for buy positions, and the target we can refer to 0.81000. So referring to MACD, with supporting for the upward momentum, with the both movement line remain pointing upward and expanding. So the as well the momentum is stood above the level of 0, right? So the next target we can refer to 0.81000. And here come the Kiwi in daily charts. New Zealand dollar against the US dollar was such high yields and currently traded as an uptrend as well. And so then a closure above 0.75600 is a signal for buy positions, and the target we can aim at 0.77400. Okay, so the both movement line in the MACD is expanding and pointing upward as well. So the momentum is stood above the level of 0. So this is a signal that's supporting for the further upward momentum. As for the Japanese yen, so the USD JPY pair was currently ranging, okay, so based on the indicator of the 20 moving average line, it start moving flat, although the 60 is still pointing downward, but it is expected to be ranging soon. Okay, so the range is expected to hovering between 110.7 and 111.2. Alright, so referring to the MACD as well, the momentum is decreasing and currently is still very weak. The both movement line now is pointing downwards. Alright, so it is expected to be traded flat and ranging between 110.7 and 111.2. As for commodities markets, the gold price currently is traded uptrend, right? Traded as uptrend, and the momentum is quite strong for the trend. So the closure above 1265 is a signal for a buy, okay, for buy positions, and target we can aim for 1275.00. okay, 1275.00, referring to the MACD, which is supporting the upward momentum if the bull movement line is remain pointing upward and expanding, and the momentum is start growth to the level above 0 as well. And the last instruments we are referring to the oil price, the US West Texas Intermediate in 4-hourly chart. So the oil price currently is remain traded as an uptrend, alright, after the price surged out of the highest level of the previous upward channel and currently hovering around 48.66. So a closure above 48.7 is another signal for buy positions, and the target we can aim for $50 a barrel. That's all for my analysis to date. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the GKFXPrime logo on the screens in order to follow our updated analysis and education video. Thank you for watching.
GKFX, your global trading partner.